Hello everyone, you are welcome to my channel. You know how I do it. PaulVin never disappoints. This time, we want to commit everything we do on this channel to promoting everything Africa. Everything Africa, spanning from spirituality, African history, anything that the African man must know. The research is being done, the knowledge is being inspired, and I'm sure whatever we are to learn here today, some tidbits that you will pick, some notes that you will make will begin to change your way of thinking from negativity of the African concept to positivity of everything in the world, favoring you yourself. As Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but you yourself can free your own mind. All right, so today I have this topic that I want us to take a close look at. If you've realized, the ancient Egypt, that popular historic nation, there are these things that are left behind, the statues of their pharaohs. When you search on the internet, you realize that most of those statues have their nose chipped off. And scholars have tried to question it, and some don't know why, some are still seeking answers. Others have sought answers and found them, yet they are still being debunked. However, today, this is my part that I want to share with you. Now, before I go deeper into it, I want to settle you on these things. Features of statue. There are some things about statue that determines the race of that statue. Whether the statue is an African statue, an African man or woman, or the statue is a Caucasian, a white or an orange man. All right. Now, some of those major features are the skin color of the statue itself, the hair texture, how curly or straight the hairs are, and the lip size or shape. You know, Caucasians have this kind of slim lips, and the African man has this kind of puffy, big size shape of lip. You understand? The nose shape. You know, the African nose is this kind of, there's nothing like pointed. Right? Our nose is divided into these three partitions. This side, the middle side, and the other side. All right? Which distinguishes the African from the Caucasian. And the Caucasian, they have this kind of pointed nose that the moment you see them, that's the first thing you notice on their face. Okay, now let's compare these features to the statues in ancient Egypt or the Egyptian pharaohs and see if we can determine the race out of those statues. Now, let's consider the first thing, the skin color. The color of the statue that we normally see from ancient Egypt sites or Egyptian sites, you realize that the statues only take their color from the soil or the clay out of which they are made. So if the statues are made from a white clay, then it takes this whitish color. If they are made from a black clay, since Egypt was much of silt, so it takes the black color. Most of them are not really painted with different colors, they are just polished. So we can't really depend on the skin color to really determine. Some do, but it's not really that strong of an argument to make. Now, let me cancel that one out because I will depend on this to make any case. Let's go to the hair texture. You see, the ancient Egyptian pharaohs always wore this cap that looked like cobra on their head. Therefore, that cap they wore covered their hair completely, which made it impossible for their hair texture or anything about their hair to be seen in order to make a judgment on it. All right? Therefore, we can also depend on hair texture to judge or make a judgment on this case because the statues that we see are covered. They don't have hair exposed. Now, the next one is the lip size. As I've been showing on the screen, and I'm even showing now, you can see some of the statues of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. You can see their lip size to be that puffy. That is very distinct from the Caucasian man's lip. You see, if you can just imagine those Caucasians, those white people that you know, the popular ones, and just have an image of their faces and their lips in your mind's eye, you just realize the statues' lips don't really fit their race. All right, even though that's also not a really strong argument, but the main argument, this one still fits though, but the main argument here that I'm here to make is the nose. Now, the only strong candidate that would distinguish the ancient Egyptian statues and make known whether they were blacks or white is the shape of their nose. And after the war of conquest by the rulers of the world in history, as the Egyptians were migrating and leaving their nation, you realize that they left so many things behind that archaeologists and historians later went to discover by means of excavation. You realize that they had a chance to chip off the noses. Now the question is that why would a white historian discover something belonging to white people and would want to distort the nature or the features on the thing? Something so valuable in history and civilization that would actually add the value of respect to a particular race to which that thing belongs. I don't think a Caucasian, a white man, would do that to the fellow white unless that thing was made by a different race. We know how they work. You know, Europeans, how they do their things. You understand? All right. So because the noses identified the statues as blacks, they have to chip off their noses so that you chance upon them, you analyze them, and there's nothing telling you that the statue down there is your ancestor as a black man. Imagine all those great things the ancient Egyptians did. All those monuments, stelae, and the other stuff that they built that are so monumental in history, that enriches the respect for the black man. These are all distorted by just a mere chipping of statue's nose. So, my dear black man, before you stand anywhere next time cursing your ancestors as ignorant, as people who didn't know anything, research first. Take a deep breath, go back in yourself, cool down, go on the internet, find books, read, learn, and know before you say. I'll leave you here. I don't have to talk too much. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, there's more to come. This is the genesis of everything.